Hello, I'm Ungar to the Max. I am filling in for Brandon this week on today's episode of Brandon's World. He will be back as soon as he can, but in the meantime, like I said, I'm filling in. Um, so tonight is game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals as the Boston Celtics once again try to stave off elimination and send the series back to Kaseya Center, formerly known as FTX Center. Before that, I think it was called Miami-Dade Arena. And before that, I believe it was called American Airlines Arena, something like that, down in Miami. The Celtics are trying to do something that has never been done before in the NBA, and that is come back from a 3-0 deficit to win the series. It's happened before in the NHL. It happened in Major League Baseball when the Red Sox came back to beat the Yankees in, I believe it was the 2004 ALCS, if I'm not mistaken. But do I believe the Celtics are going to force a decisive Game 7 back up in Boston? No, I don't. I think Miami is going to close this out. However, I do think the series shifts back to Miami for a Game 6, but that is where the series will end. So, do I think Miami is the more talented team? No, because all Miami has is Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler. No offense to Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love, and some of their other guys. But Boston has Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Robert Williams, Grant Williams, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, who they've barely used in this series, and other guys. So Boston is the more talented team. That's why they got the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. But as we've seen in the playoffs this season, your seeding doesn't really matter. Heck, we had a number 7 seed in the Western Conference Finals with the Los Angeles Lakers, and now we have an 8 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals in the Miami Heat. And the Heat are one win away from getting to the NBA Finals. Who'd have thunk it? I mean, going into the playoffs, Brandon and I were talking about this. I predicted the finals would be a rematch of 2021, Suns against the Bucks. Well, the Suns got eliminated in the second round thanks to the Denver Nuggets, and the Milwaukee Bucks, they got eliminated in the first round by the Miami Heat. So, you see how well I'm doing on that. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know what to make of the Boston Celtics. I really don't. It's like they've lost their identity that they had with Ime Udoka last season. Now, I'm not going to, go out and get into this whole Ime Udoka, Joe Mazzulla conversation, but it does feel, I will say this about it. It does feel like there's been a change in philosophy, if you will, going from Ime Udoka to Joe Mazzulla. It feels like there's been a change in philosophy, which as of right now, it feels like that philosophy change has not been good for the Celtics, but we'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, Boston's going to have to decide what they want to do with their duo, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because they're both coming up in terms of their contracts, and what are the Celtics going to do? I don't think they can afford to pay both of them. So do you possibly trade Jaylen Brown this offseason? I think there's a possibility that could happen. I don't know who the Celtics would trade him to. I would think they would trade him to a Western Conference team so that they don't have to play the team he gets traded to 3 or 4 times. And if he were to get traded to a Western Conference team, may I suggest Damian Lillard? I'm not saying that Jaylen Brown gets traded for Damian Lillard. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying trade Jaylen Brown to Portland and pair him with Damian Lillard. Just a thought. But like I said before, I do not think Boston is going to make history by becoming the first team to come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a series. I think Miami is going to get that elusive fourth win, but I do not think it will be tonight.
Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.